there is no air-to-air solution intercept. Like the only thing right now is like Coyotes, like Roadrunner, these like missile interceptors.
The clock is ticking for us to solve these things. The air superiority fighters that we are building, this is the air-to-air solution, which
need it.
Unless you have an airman's perspective on this, you're not going to get that into the mix.
Jeff Wright is the founder and CEO of SplashOne Robotics, a defense technology company dedicated to developing small, purpose-built fighter drones to redefine air superiority.
Our concept of war and their concept of war is different, and we just haven't pivoted to recognize that they're already in phase 3 of an irregular war combat, or irregular war construct. And we think we're in phase 0 of a hot war. They think they're in phase 3 of an irregular war.
Let's talk about the bubble.
Yeah, dude.
Bubble time.
Yeah. The wars that my children fight, we just created those wars.
Yeah.
By failing to defend the peace that our grandparents created after World War II. Instead of subjecting our drones to hard, rigorous testing, we're letting this bubble drive kind of fake success stories.
If Russia attacks a NATO country, I mean, we're coming in.
You think? I'm going to go with the edge of what I want to say on the podcast.
That's fine. You don't have to.
No, I want this is important to note.
Jeffrey Wright, I've been waiting for this episode. You're going to probably be our like third best guest. So that's pretty good.
Man, high expectations.
Okay, so let's get this mic, like let's get this, like start making out with this almost.
Okay.
Like you want to be like 3.
You want to hear my baritone?
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's
some drone ASMR.
Your voice sounds like honey poured over thunder. I use that on another guest, so don't feel that special. Honey poured over thunder.
I'm stealing that.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the ladies love that. Yeah. Okay, wait, hold on. We're gonna start with something fun though.
Oh yeah.
So for the listeners that aren't on YouTube, you should be on YouTube. Smash the subscribe button on YouTube for my stats. This is the founder Riz Tiz chart. Have you seen this?
Can I call my 15-year-old son to like translate this?
Okay, hold on. So Tiz stands for autism on the left axis.
Okay,
on the Y.
Yep.
And then Riz is charisma.
Yep,
so this is the Tiz Riz.
Got it.
So if you're for example, if you're low Riz and high Tiz, you're a Tizzard. Like, and that's like Ilya Sutskever and Wozniak up in the top left. And then you've got, obviously, like, if you're a Tiz whisperer over on the right, if you're high Riz, medium Tiz, you're like Steve Jobs or Sam Altman.
Yeah.
You know, because it says it needs a high Tiz co-founder. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Luke's a Tizzard, and I'm the Tiz whisperer.
Okay.
But I want to be a yapper. I'm an aspiring Tiz whisperer to yapper track.
Okay.
So, I mean, I feel like you're probably like main character boring energy, bro.
Yeah.
What do you got? You have medium Riz, medium
I hate that you threw shade at it by calling it, boring and character.
No, it's actually not boring. It's main character.
Yeah.
Boring is a boring $10 billion business. That's boring compared to like a $1 trillion God mode.
Yeah.
So you're like a guy who's going to build a $10 billion business.
Yeah.
That's kind of, like,
I guess in this world that's an insult.
That's boring. Yeah, dude. 10 billion. Lame. Like, lame. Yeah. I love this so much though. This is so funny. I like I like the low NPC buy my course coaching.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got to I want to do one of these and put all the defense founders on the app.
That would be fantastic. and in things you can't vote on yourself, you have to collect the votes.
No, you have to collect the votes. Yeah.
Yeah, and spread it out.
Yeah, community voting. But this is like the internet always wins. The internet's so awesome. It's like my favorite thing ever. All right, so let's give a little background for you, so the listeners. So you abbreviated because it's been a long career.
Yeah, dude.
And then we'll get into the real shit, which is your new shit. But like, let's talk
short
about
version.
Give me a quick background. Yeah.
Marine artillery to start with. Went to Anglico, JTAC, weapons instructor. I love JTACing so much and doing all the small unit fast operations. Wanted to keep doing it. Didn't want to grow up and get a real job. Go be a battery commander or anything. So I took selection for Air Force Special Operations. Became a special tactics officer and finished out my career. Doing basically the same stuff I did on the Marine side, just with better pay, better haircuts, and better scenario.
But when we first met, you were still in, and you were like working at INDOPACOM.
Yeah,
and you were running like some sort of drone strategy, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
I ran for the last couple of years that I was in INDOPACOM a number of drone initiatives that were basically founded on the idea of upending the adversary's assumptions about how we fight.
Yeah.
Familiar with the offset strategies and how that
No, what is that?
So the offset strategy, the idea is that you want to, instead of having just a straight push-pull against the adversary, we need to have always something that ends the war before it begins by having so much of an offset from where they're at. So at the end of World War II, we won not because we had better stuff, but because we had more of it. We could out-manufacture the adversary.
That sounds like China.
Exactly. Now, so that's where they and all the rest of the commies, they got to the point after World War II where they had that ability over us. Our offset at that time is, well, dude, we've got nukes. And so you can have as many, poor peasants with, Kalashnikovs in the field as you want. We've got nukes. And so then the next, when they got nukes, our next strategy is, okay, well, we're going to have high tech. And so our high tech thing is going to make it so you can throw your wave of human attacks at us, and we're not going to put our humans, our citizens, at risk, and that we will have high tech stuff that allows us to have standoff from sanctuary and all that stuff. That's where our like golden sledgehammer thing comes from.
Yep.
And then that got taken away because we kind of fell asleep at the wheel for a couple of decades while China stole a march on us.
High tech shit.
Yeah, so high tech shit. And then the adversary in the Indo-Pacific basically spent a couple of decades, arguably up to 6 decades, studying our way of war, where we don't want to put our citizens at risk. We want to hit with high tech, long range stuff with standoff from sanctuary. And they had one job: is okay, this is the American way of war, where they take aircraft carriers, they sail across the ocean, and then they from sanctuary come hit us.
Yeah,
and they designed a military that could disrupt that.
Yep,
and they did that successfully.
Oh, that sounds great for us.
Yeah, and so
now we're doing the Golden Dome though.
Well, that's to defend our homeland. And so that's basically what they did. They made this, IADS A2AD network that's damn hard to penetrate for our stuff. So what I did in INDOPACOM was say, well, what if instead of playing the normal game by the normal rules where we use this high dollar stuff, what if we had cheap attritable mass? And that gave rise to a thing in public sphere that's called Replicator, and there's whole layers of stuff underneath it. But I was kind of...
Yeah, and they just got rid of the Replicator money because it was kind of a failure, right?
Dude, they're so this is a podcast, not a therapy session for me. But if I can build your TRICARE account, we can.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's always everything here. Okay,
I'll get some catharsis out of this as well, because Replicator did not do what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to do a thing, and then it kind of just like a badly driven golf ball, like aiming down the center.
It was basically like a Switchblade buying program. I think they bought a bunch of Switchblades out of it.
They did. That was one of the things that went public. Is that Switchblade 600 was one of the first.
Which I think is a good product, actually.
It's perfectly good for what it's designed for.
Yeah.
What it's designed for is in a Middle East kind of scenario where instead of having an F-35 dropping bombs, you have something that is soldier portable. It's cheap. It's persistent, and it's highly targetable, and it's low level. It's great. I love it for what it's for.
But it's not really cheap attritable mass.
Bingo. Not even close.
Yeah, it's not really what you meant when you wrote your paper.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you got to give it to the AeroVironment capture team that captured the shit out of that money.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job, and then they also pivoted to where they added some stuff extra to the Switchblade during that time based on lessons learned from Ukraine, to where the first generation just everything sucked, everything failed pretty bad. And they had the humility and the courage to say, no, this isn't working. Let's go back and let's insist on getting it right. Yeah. And they successfully pivoted.
I think AeroVironment's probably a pretty good company. I don't know.
I love them.
Yeah, and Blue Halo acquisition I think was smart.
Yep.
I think they've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorites. And also they have like a lot more revenue than like Anduril, and they're worth like 3 times as less.
Yeah, they have real
That's
revenue
crazy, actually.
Decades.
Yeah, it's amazing actually to think about the like the investor. Like if you put in money at like 40 billion at Anduril or 7 billion, I think what's that? Check AeroVironment market cap, Jack. Pull that up. Jack? No, he laughs because I always do this.
I think it was like 5 billion.
We always are checking AeroVironment market cap on this podcast. I have a couple
12 now.
Oh, 12 billion. No, I think I got in at 7.
Nice.
Yeah, this is not investment advice, everyone, just so you know. But anyways, okay, so you got AeroVironment at 12 billion. Scroll down. I'm gonna check the revenue. I mean, the PE is off the charts there.
Yeah. Because they make actual money.
Can you type AeroVironment forward PE?
Long-standing contracts.
I need the forward PE.
And they're selling all the stuff overseas too.
Forward PE. There we go. We need the real. I don't know if they'll probably have it on right here.
Yeah.
Okay, forward PE. Oh shit. Okay, that's actually pretty high. So the forward PE is 107.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually like, so they're expecting a lot of growth.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems pretty much like dangerous now.
Dude, they're the dominant player for a reason. So I first started taking their drones into combat with me in 2010.
Yeah.
And they've always been at the cutting edge.
You see the Red Dragon?
Yeah.
What do you think of that? It's like a dive bomber, right?
Yeah. So
you pull up Red Dragon?
I can't believe that Red Dragon is...
Did you help make this? AeroVironment. Red Dragon, AeroVironment. Yeah. Images. Yeah, right there. Okay, it's a one-way attack drone.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me about this.
Geez, this is the part where I'm just going to kind of be quiet.
Well, you don't have to say like the specs or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like just like high level, I think it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I think they're this is built now, right? I've heard they're selling it. That's what I heard in the
They
chats.
had a big booth at Soft Week.
Yeah.
Where it was kind of like the coming out party for Red Dragon.
I also saw I saw that at Soft Week, and I saw since Blue Halo just got purchased right before then, I saw the Blue Halo boats in the water. Did you see their like Havoc or Saronic competitor?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of, basically iterations on the theme of the robot boats in the water, right?
I want to do a defense tech drone ultimatum market map. Hosted by, but I want to do like a joke one where it's like it's just the block diagram of all the USV companies. It's like 30 USV companies.
So that could be public service. So one of the things that I'm doing for my VC friends right now is I'm helping them to see that, like, hey man, like today's new entrant for the drone interceptor is like this. I think there's something like 20 companies right now that are doing essentially undifferentiated things.
Oh no, we have to talk about drone interceptors. But before that, you mentioned something I had to call you out on. VC friends.
Yeah,
I don't have any VC friends.
Yeah, I do.
How do you be friends with them?
Public service, man. So for the past couple of years, when
investors, ew.
No, seriously, it's important. So what they pick to put money in is like we have capital in the U.S. We have like a certain amount, and
I know
if it goes to the wrong place,
I agree with you. No, it is a serious topic.
Yeah,
and it's really bad actually.
Yes,
and the allocations are way off the mark.
And we're in a massive bubble, and it takes expert knowledge to be able to say, all right, this company has a chance at making it. But companies number 2 through 20 that are just undifferentiated, man, they're either going to zero or they're going to get bought for scraps.
Dude.
And another undifferentiated company is not going to help our national defense. We've got to get ready. We've got to get right. And helping VCs to know, kind of the lay of the land, it's kind of public service.
I mean, it really is. You're doing that public service. I can't stomach the ability. That's why I'm just starting my own fund. Yeah. And then you can tell me where to put it.
Yeah, there's definitely no money in the way that I'm doing it.
Yeah, no.
I'm just trying to be useful.
Yeah, see, yeah, come on, bro. You got to get yours into this world.
Dude, this is day 33 for me out of uniform. I got to figure out the whole making money thing.
It's only day 33?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 90 days out now.
No.
You did a little bit of, you had like I know what you're talking about. There's like the grace period.
Yeah, terminal leave.
Terminal leave, yeah. I did that whole terminal leave when I got out. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Getting paid, but not really doing anything.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, I haven't really been going into the office reliably since earlier this year.
I remember I was like 26 when I got my terminal leave, and I was like living in D.C. I was stationed in D.C.
Yeah.
So I was like living on my girlfriend's couch.
Oh, man.
Basically. Well, sometimes in her bed, but mostly the couch.
Yeah.
She kept me out there because I had no job, so she thought I was the loser.
That's the way it works.
Yeah. But it was a great time. Terminal leave is the best.
Yeah. For me, it was getting unasked from my house in Hawaii that we'd lived in for 5 years. Got to pack up, 3 kids, the Labrador, all this stuff, move to a new place while starting my business. So there wasn't a lot of relaxing going on.
Yeah. It just reminds me because I was at Naval Reactors this Monday coming up. Naval Reactors annual golf tournament. I always play in that still.
Oh, cool.
It's great. But the Admiral always wins. Obviously.
Naturally.
He cheats.
Yeah.
Dude, first of all, he shoots every year. Their team shoots like 16 under. There's no way
16
on a scramble.
under?
I know. It's Andrews Air Force Base. The course isn't that hard.
Yeah, still.
You
take any given group of duffers, and if you're playing best ball with a mulligan, you're not getting the scratch.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're always at, my team's always like -2. And we're like, okay, so if we did 14 shots better, we could maybe. But I just do it for the camaraderie to see the old.
Of course.
You know what's really sucks? I was telling Luke, I was like, why didn't we start a company selling to the nuclear Navy? We know everyone there. We did this for our whole life. We know, these are all our friends. We know where they all live.
Yeah.
And we're like, of course we had to be the assholes making
completely
all new connections in the Army.
Yeah, and that's the superpower, man, is that part of the reason why I went quiet for a couple months is that while I was in that kind of liminal phase between active duty and running the company full time, I didn't want to be showing up at people's door, knocking my active duty ID card, hey, let's do business.
No, of course not. Yeah, but you know them all still, so you have good access. All right, let's talk about SplashOne. SplashOne's coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's fucking pump it.
Yeah, dude.
All right, give it to me.
Okay, so the theory of the case is that same with ACS, that we're looking at a whole smorgasbord of ineffective counter-drone technologies, things that have their time and their place, but there's no panacea, and there's kind of a gap on the field right now. So if you think in terms of a soccer analogy, you guys are the ultimate goalkeeper.
We're point defense of an asset, a truck.
The bubble around something where a 7.62 round can hit, that is ballistically limited, but you got that bubble covered.
Yeah. We're not going past 500, 600 meters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you think about what is going to take stuff out beyond line of sight, where when you have to deal with things like incoming enemy fire, the idea of having something out in the open that goes long range, it works in Wile E. Coyoteville when you're testing stuff in the Southwest. But if you want to intercept stuff at 10, 20, 50 kilometers, now you've got to get off the ground. Now you got to put that bubble out there.
And so for the listeners, what I understand, it's kind of it's a fixed wing with a gun.
Yep.
So it's like area denial, area defense.
Exactly.
Like standoff.
Yep.
A little further out. So
Fighter
where
drones.
bullfrogs at 500 meters, you can go out 5 miles and loiter around, right?
Yep, a lot longer than that.
It's kind of like an autonomous A-10 warthog.
I'm more like an autonomous F-22.
Okay.
So the idea is that we are configured for air-to-air, can do air-to-ground, but air-to-air is the primary thing.
No, I think air-to-ground is going to be sweet, though.
Dude, yeah. And
strafing runs.
100%. And that's kind of our story, our trajectory. We're starting off air-to-air because it's a technically simpler problem than air-to-ground.
I think so, too. Because, you have a lot more on the ground. You have a lot more stuff to see visually. Exactly. It's kind of like a little... But air-to-air, like you're going to get a drone on a background of sky.
Bingo. And that's the simplest thing. You can do that with ESP32 level of compute. Just is pixel anomalous or not? Yeah. And if it is, it's probably your freaking target.
Blast that shit.
Exactly. And we're a lot more complicated than that. We're doing a couple different types of classification to make sure that we're not hitting the wrong drones or the or friendly drones.
Yeah.
But it can be.
But some of those friendly drones need to go down too. Get rid of those things, bro.
Well, I mean,
clear the skies.
It's like that scene from Braveheart where it's like, sir, the arrows, won't they hit our troops? Well, hit theirs as well.
Yeah, exactly. That guy.
Yeah.
So you're like the evil guy from Braveheart.
Thanks, man. That's why I come on the podcast.
Braveheart's a great movie.
Yeah, dude.
Mel Gibson. Oh my God. We actually, Mel Gibson, Apocalyptico. You ever see that flick?
No, I didn't.
Oh, dude. Okay. That's the one you should watch.
Yeah.
We talked about that with them 2 Army guys we had on, Russ and Gus. Wait, no, Gus and Rod. Anyways, this movie though, I'm not going to spoil it, but like, it's like, takes place in like I can't even spoil it. That's a great Mel Gibson classic though.
I will put it in the watch queue.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. Okay, but anyways, so you're doing the company founded after you left.
Yep.
You've got let's talk about the team.
So we started while I was still on active duty.
Yeah.
I built the first 2 airframes in my garage.
Amazing.
In Hawaii.
You like carbon fiber or like what's the?
So we're just doing cheap 3D printed stuff.
Yeah, for
CF12 now. Yeah.
I mean, you can upgrade obviously. This is just a prototype.
Exactly, prototype stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the now. We've got a team of 11 as of yesterday.
Damn.
Hiring fast.
Popping.
Yeah, money in the bank from venture capital.
Hell yeah.
And making our prototype waypoints way faster than I thought we were going to. Everybody told me, hey, for hardware, expect it to be twice as long and 3 times as expensive as you thought.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been the opposite. It's been twice as fast and a third as cheap as what we thought. So,
you guys are moving.
Yeah, been pretty lucky.
That's not really us, I'll tell you. Our product is like way more complicated than we thought. We've got a lot of circuits.
Exactly. And that's part of what makes us tick.
Weapon stations
is that we've made it simple for prototype warfare, where it's not hard to do.
Yeah.
You just have to have the vision to put all the pieces together in a way that does the full end-to-end kill chain.
Where are you going to test this? Because you're shooting bullets in the sky.
Yes.
Yeah. Where are we testing?
So there's 2 answers to that. We're working on CRADAs, 1 Army, 1 Air Force, and 1 with SOCOM, to try to get range space to do this.
Yeah.
And then the ultimate answer is, man, just go off the coast and your international waters, and you can do whatever you want.
You can do that for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's definitely places you can, like 9 Mile or something, Yuma.
There's places, but you got 2 ways of doing it. Like if I actually strap my gun to the bottom and we're actually doing live fire testing, then it's really restrictive, and there's a lot of unknowns because this is adding.
You're gonna put the gun below it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a belly pod.
Just right there. Okay. Yep. Perfect.
And so we can do that, but what we're really doing for right now is that we're separating the testing of the firearm from the everything else, and we're using airsoft, so it's not a weapon, not lethal, and we can just do that wherever we want.
Yeah, honestly, that's actually perfect.
Yeah,
just the air, because that'll test the controls and everything.
Exactly.
Fine, yeah,
and then all we have to do is get the gun dialed in for the same.
Yeah,
and by that point, all the creators will be online. It'll be a lot easier.
So this is since you had a career military, right? This is your first startup.
Yeah.
How much did you love it?
Yeah, dude. I'm actually kind of pissed that I stayed in the military for as long.
Yeah, you should. I feel like you're a startup person.
This is where I should
have done this like 15 years.
100%. Yeah, I should have done this a long time ago.
You should have been Palmer Lucky. You could have founded that shit, dog.
But yeah, the founder lifestyle. This is, I feel like, what I was supposed to do all along.
It is I always say that, Jack. Don't I say it's a lifestyle?
Yeah,
it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
it can't be about the end goal of the money. It's got. You have to embrace the lifestyle.
It's the freedom to create.
Yeah,
and like my entire time on active duty, I felt like I was struggling to create things.
Yeah,
and kept on getting pushed back into this box. Like the best example of it. I've always been an outside the box thinker, and I had a major pull me aside when I was a captain at Anglico, and he said, "Listen, Captain Wright, you're thinking outside the box wrong.
Yeah.
See, I'm the S3. The S3 is my box, and the S1, that's his lane. So I have to know what that S1 is doing. I'm thinking outside the box." And what you're doing is you're off the reservation, man. Like no one told you to do any of this. And I'm like, oh God, like what am I doing?
That is the way. I love that's some real funny army military shit right there. By the way, I love when they also do my favorite military when I'm selling to the military now when they're like, Steve, what we really want to do is put together a team of teams. And I'm like, so you mean a team?
Yeah, right.
A team of teams. I love that. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, extra layers of bureaucracy always helps.
I'm like, we need a team of teams, and then you guys got to build a system of systems.
Yeah,
it's so good.
The ability to substitute buzzwords for actual thinking is nothing that really bothers me.
I mean, in the military, it's a daunting task if you're not from the military background to like come into it because the acronyms are crazy.
People can snow you by throwing out a bunch of jargon that sounds official, and then when you start pulling the thread on, it's like, this dude said nothing. It's like LLM generated garbage.
No, I know. I was like 12, 14, 13 years removed from the military when I came back into defense tech, and like all of it within 4 months, all of that, it all came back to me. Like my trauma of all the acronyms. Like I was in calls in the early discovery calls, and they were like dropping stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember all these words now.
Yeah. Yeah, because I did all my time operational and tactical.
Yeah.
I had almost no acquisitions experience. Now that I'm on that side of the house, I'm having to learn it. I'm finding that I can figure it out by kind of like
it's not too hard. I mean,
words.
I think people try to overcomplicate it. You get it. Like it's not that hard. It's just daunting because you have to connect so many different groups of people together.
Yeah.
Program office, warfighter, DoD, Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Like you have to get them all like in the same, and it's just so it's like you're selling to like 19 people,
right,
for the same thing.
Yep.
And you have to make them all talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's like it's not easy for like any first time founder. So you picked something hard.
I really have, man.
Yeah.
And I thought, but as I was getting out, I'm like, oh, dude, well, I'm the guy who defines relevance for drones and like the plans out in INDOPACOM. So surely a lot of this, they'll have, half-life. It'll go away over time.
Yeah.
But what I found was that it was just the door shut and that's it.
Yep.
Is that now that I'm on the outside, I'm having some random GS-11 at a development command say, oh yeah, there's no warfighter need for you. I'm like, fucker, I am.
Yeah.
Like 3 months ago, I'm the guy writing this thing. You're telling me
no, dude, this actually happened to me. I'm not gonna like name all the names, but like we had a like deployed group in overseas that like stated the need. They're like, we want the bullfrog or whatever. And then like it finally reached their program officer, one of the COCOMs, and they're like, we actually determined that the warfighter is wrong here. They don't need this. And the warfighters like literally having emails that are like, no, actually we want this. We can't shoot drones down right now. We want to shoot drones.
But was there a capital R requirement?
Exactly.
And I'm so glad that JSIDS is dead, that we got away from that concept.
Yeah.
And we're going towards a more, capital, like we're going to capitalize on capitalism. We're going to have a defense acquisition system that puts more hands devolved down to the people who face problems and not generating capabilities.
I mean, this news for the Secretary Hegseth is good for you. Good for us. Like, I mean, getting rid of, like, basically gutting the JCO and they're creating. I know it's some people are a little like skeptical because they're creating a new, effectively JCO, but I think that this one has more teeth.
Yeah, and it's not.
I'm optimistic.
Me too. And where you sit is where you stand. And with the JCO being out at Fort Sill, made of air defenders, it's going to take an inherently air defense approach to it. Not a bad thing. Like these are the pros who know all this. But if we really want to make this joint and multi-domain, you've got to get it into a physical place run by people who aren't from that one culture. Those dudes have a dominant say, like them being the air defense guys. But you got to bring this entire thing in. From my perspective as the SplashOne CEO, so the air superiority fighters that we are building, this is the air-to-air solution, which
need it.
Unless you have an airman's perspective on this, you're not going to get that into them.
There is no, and this is for listeners and other investors so that you guys invest in Jeff's company. There is no air-to-air solution intercept. Like the only thing right now is like Coyotes, like Roadrunner, these like missile interceptors, and those aren't really that economical. Like if you could put a bullet on target, you obviously would do that.
So here's the comparative advantages. So the sacrificial interceptor concept, I think there's a place in the choir for this. If you back out the way that a carrier strike group defends itself, the exact analogy I think is going to hold for a counter drone. Y'all are like Seaways. You're that last layer of defense for anything that squeaked by, and you dominate that close in. You're always going to need it. The next layer out is you're sacrificing your very limited amount of powder, where you've got your RIM 116s, you got your SM series missiles, and then beyond that, like no carrier strike group is going to say, oh, don't worry about the F-18s. We've got SM2s. No, we want to take stuff out at range. That's what we are building. Is the air-to-air things that push air superiority out to the edge and conduct DCA and even OCA.
A lot of what you'll run into, I mean, I'm sure you already have, is the government, and I've been trying to educate on this public service podcast, they love little missiles,
Yeah.
little interceptors. They want boom. Like they don't actually care about price that much.
Right.
Like they say they do, but like it's more like they love these missile interceptors.
Dude, so I get it, and it's once you close the kill chain with them, they're an acceptable solution. But we're still a massive dog. Like the Houthis imposed a 1.16 billion cost on our treasury.
I know.
Last summer, and they did it with a couple $1 million of basically irrigation.
I mean, we were just using our big missiles on that.
Yeah.
We were just missiling them.
100%, and it puts us on the horns of the dilemma. Either we let the cheap crap through and it hits our expensive stuff, or we use our expensive stuff. So it's lose-lose.
Yeah.
The value proposition of what we're doing is that you can score those kills for the cost of a beer. $10.
I know. So what happens though to like the Coyote and Roadrunner when your product is at scale?
I think there's going to be a market for it. It's going to be
the point though.
The last minute thing. Anything that squeaks past. So we are going to be patrolling out.
So you're just loitering. Yeah.
So beyond, like, so the same way that a fighter, an carrier air wing defends the CSG by pushing out far, we're doing that exactly.
But why not just have yours at 50 and at 25 and anything that squeaks through? I mean, you're just like, what's the point of these interceptors? I actually think there's no room for the interceptors.
Yeah.
My vision of the future is that it's all AI guns everywhere.
I think that the interceptors are going to have a place as a last minute thing, as that medium range.
Maybe, but I think the AI guns, I think our product is so good that
totally
it just makes most of these.
It's the economic sense. It's the dominant thing for and logistics as well. So the economics. The other part is that there's the cubic inches that those the Roadrunner or the Coyote takes up. It's just too big to be resupplied.
I actually do believe that with just two product, like our product, your product, I think it actually covers the whole battle space. Like I actually think if you take it to its logical conclusion.
Yeah.
And the robotics and AI gets so good, you can't compete with an AI gun. Like nothing can. It's so cheap.
So here's where I think it's going to merge. I think that what we're going to start seeing is a trend away from something that looks like this and has a charge on it, or even something that's form factored like an airplane. And it's going to get more and more missilized to the point where your system and my system, our gun is the last minute thing.
Yeah.
And then if we have to reach out and touch something that is 2, 3, 5 kilometers away, instead of my gun, which is really only effective at 50 meters and in, like 10 meters is our sweet spot. So instead of having to do the basic fighter maneuvers, if I want to take a missile shot from long range, that's what these things are going to get to.
Yeah, they're going to. But I think we're going to see in 5 years bullets v missiles.
100%.
And like fast twitch.
Yep.
Robotics with bullets versus missiles.
And
that's the game. That's where it's all going.
We're never going to get, we're not going to achieve more mass, the ability to take out saturation by having our interceptors against their interceptors. We're going to lose on cost. We're going to lose on quantity. We're going to lose on size. And that's just inevitable. But bullets are always going to be more efficient than the incoming threats.
Yeah. Actually, here's a really fun one. Jack, can you pull up Perseus? I get all these like pitch decks of all these like little mini missiles. There's by the way, the government loves this shit.
Yeah.
Is it Perseus Aerospace? Perseus Defense.
Yeah, I'm familiar with these guys too.
So okay,
they're one of the.
Hold on. So this is great. They're one of the 20. So this is we gotta talk about this. So this guy actually like DM'd me and was like, "You're always shitting on our company." And I'm like, no, bro, I'm not. He's like, I'm going to come on the podcast and prove you wrong. I was like, definitely.
Yeah,
that's what it's here for.
Absolutely. Marketplace of ideas.
No, this is marketplace of ideas. So, okay. 15-inch missiles like that, right?
Yep.
So it's small. So the idea, by the way, this always gets pitched to me by government. They're like, Steve, what we really want is like a suitcase full of missiles. And we open the suitcase up and hit a button and they all fly out and hit all the drones. Okay, I'm trying not to laugh.
Tell me you've never seen the kill chain without telling me you've never seen the kill chain.
So this is one of a number of pitch decks that have come across the Drone Ultimatum's desk.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to hear your thoughts. So Luke, my co-founder, says like it can't hit, like it won't run out of fuel before it can maneuver to hit the maneuvering drone. But I'm going to get the CEO on it. It's found to come and explain. But what are your take on it? Have you looked into this stuff?
Yeah, I mean it's all the same thing. I mean the concept is that you have a small thing that goes out and it sees the target and it's already out there. This works every time in a controlled environment where you control the range. But when you start talking about a scenario where you have to actually find the target, like we were talking about downstairs, the needle in the haystack problem.
Yeah.
How's this thing getting tipped and cued to find the things?
Well, let's just say they find it. My thing was like this drone here is like if it tilts and starts going this way.
Yeah.
Like, well, what's this thing doing?
Yeah,
like, I just
the
don't know.
Systems can
on a small missile. Remember, these are like toy bottle rockets, though.
Yeah,
this is small. Like the aerodynamic, that's very hard. So this guy the CEO or the founder is going to come on, Because
I see where it could work. Like,
I'm not an aerodynamics expert.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know, but it seems to be a very hard problem.
It's a hard problem to solve, but I think it's solvable, especially because if you're using computer vision and you have something that is just doing anomalous pixel detection with an ESP32, where you got sky and you got a bunch of pixels that don't belong in the sky. Well, that's your target.
Yeah.
And then if you've simplified it down to that level, this could work.
But this thing can just drop.
Yeah.
On a dime.
Yeah.
And this can't. Yeah. It's coming in and it's like. Do you think this thing is going to go it's pretty tough, bro.
Yeah. It's not going to be a panacea for sure, but I think there's going to be use for it.
Well, either way, it has what I call sales market fit,
yeah.
which I think in the government is more important than product market fit.
Yeah.
Sales market fit is what you need.
Yeah.
They love this.
Dude, and that's such an important point, is that just because a product doesn't actually work for its intended purposes doesn't mean that we're not going to buy it.
No, we're going to buy the shit out of it.
How many times while I was in active duty, I had to deal with something that a program manager had purchased, and we ended up getting this piece of crap that's completely unusable out in the field. So we can buy it, and companies can make a ton of money.
Yeah.
But what profits the company if they sell crap to the government that actually works?
Yeah. Well, I think one thing I've learned in doing that, I've only been now doing this for a couple of years, but the government, they do like interceptors. That's a thing.
It makes
different
sense.
types of interceptors. That makes sense. They like it. They like that. They love. I've always known this from the Navy time. They love VTOL.
Yep.
They want to put VTOL in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
And I totally get the reason why that. I mean,
but I think that adds costs.
Our system's VTOL by using a Osprey type mechanism where the servos move the main motors down.
I don't like VTOL, to be clear, but they like VTOL.
VTOL makes sense from
that catapult launch.
Yeah, so the catapult launch is great, and then recovery is the hard part.
Yeah,
so Ukraine's zigzag, and if they are attritable, then great. But if they're not attritable, so like Red Dragon, that's catapult launch.
Yeah,
and that you're not getting those things back once it goes in the air. You don't need landing gear.
They market it. They just call it a one-way attack drone. Right. It's not coming back.
Exactly. It's designed to be attritable, but
our system, Roadrunner.
Yeah,
it's coming back.
Yeah,
that's so weird to me.
I don't think Roadrunner's coming back if it actually hits the target. So they say, oh yeah, reusable. It's reusable if you didn't hit the target.
I know. In what world are they scrambling these? Well, I actually realized why they did it. I think so. They I don't actually know the full story, but the SOCOM guy I talked to that helped design it with them. Apparently, they wanted to send them out alongside a Coyote because they don't trust it. And then they wouldn't lose the whole payload because it could come. It would go out with the Coyote would hit it, and then this comes back. It's like a backup.
Okay, so shoot two, and if the first one,
but the Roadrunner can come back.
It's kind of the insurance against it.
Yeah,
that's an extremely expensive way to solve the problem. Holy cow, that's very American.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah, it's still American. Yeah. By the way, that could be total. Someone will fact check me on that. Yeah. But I've that's what I've heard. But I'm sure some Andrew people will be like, "That's not why."
Yeah,
that's not why, Steve.
Yeah, until you get down to the concept of what is cheaper than a tackle-based interceptor, that sacrificial interceptor. Look, a year ago, this was the thing that made the most sense.
Yeah.
And if you have a network of ground-based sensors that can provide advanced warning, that the find, fix, track, target part of the kill chain, and then provide mid-course guidance, these things can definitely work within that bubble. But once you don't have a preset defense, once you're not on an area where you've got saturation of these sensors on board, if you're stacking enough sensors on board to find this needle in a haystack and then close the kill chain with it, and especially sacrificial ones, they have to actually hit the target, and that's hard.
Yeah.
Those last 500 milliseconds, you got to make a ton of little corrections. And now you've got something that's very, very expensive, and that's just inevitable.
Well, I'm excited about your business. Obviously, I'll have to get in the next round. I have to wait till the valuation's higher to show you I'm more of a believer. You know what I mean?
Of course, that's the way it works.
I went higher.
Well, we had no problem raising our pre-seed.
I'm not some early stage guy who's trying to get a deal. I want to go in higher. I want less ownership, but to show you I'm a true zealot.
Well, we'll be raising our seed in the spring on the backside of having demonstrated the entire end-to-end.
I need to be there for that,
dude. Yeah,
we're gonna do a live drone ultimatum podcast from the event.
So my kind of decision point is how much confidence I have that with a bunch of people watching. You know how it goes. Like,
oh, dude, we've done so many demos that failed. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
honestly, it's better just to do it. Don't even worry. Yeah, always, because they actually know you're building something hard.
Yeah,
even when we failed early, they're like, they'll just come back out next month. They'll keep coming. They don't. I thought the same thing, only show it when it's perfect.
Yeah.
But we've just been showing it incrementally getting better.
Interesting.
So they can be like, oh, wow, this company is really trying.
And I'm very confident that we'll be able to do it because none of what we are doing is individually hard. Like kind of our secret sauce is that
I think putting it all together is pretty hard.
Yeah, the integration is the hard part.
Like all that
vertical integration. And I keep on being asked, like, hey, could we just take the gun or can we just take the passive detection system? Can we just take the autonomy? I'm like, no, man. It's like if you want to build a Tesla, you can't just take the battery pack and slap it on a Camaro.
No, they do that to us. Can we just have your gimbal? I was like, well, I mean, I guess, but like honestly, it's like kind of a whole like thing.
Yeah, and we're building, for open architecture, so we can do maximum interoperability. But like you said, it's the interface of all the parts together that is the hard part.
Yeah, I think the most successful products are not interoperable. It's like a kind of a hot take.
Yeah,
but like I think the like most interoperable, like everything can work together. I don't think that's not the most successful products. I think the Coyote's not like interoperable. It's a Coyote.
So there's interoperability from the components of the system to take like the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, and put it with something else.
Yeah.
That is damn hard. But if you want to have the entire organism itself, like the drone, interoperate with a C2 architecture, that's just good, software practices. The API to
that should all be there.
Data.
We all agree with that. Yeah. But like taking like a subcomponent of your system, maybe like I want this interoperable with this other subcomponent.
No,
that's where it gets like. I don't think that's going to help us beat China.
No, it's really hard, and we're engineering maximally to be able to plug and play as much as we can, and also just for our own in-house design, so our various teams and approaches can
but the government's like afraid of creating like monopolies.
Yeah,
and I'm like, but you did like, lock it. You did do that.
I mean I get that. That's probably where the scar tissue comes from. Is that we let the various primes have their own proprietary code where nothing talks to each other. We want to get away from that. That's definitely the right direction. But subdividing an individual system is probably not the way to get there.
Let's talk about the bubble.
Yeah, dude.
Bubble time.
Yeah, massive drone bubble right now.
Bubble boys, which not just I think defense tech bubble.
Probably. I think.
Well, probably.
Yeah, I think so. The world isn't getting more safe. I think, especially given that we didn't, as a free world, rise up when a liberal democracy was invaded and say no. We're going to make Pax Americana stay. We kind of said, oh yeah, not really our problem, and that has invited, I think, like the wars that my children fight. We just created those wars.
Yeah.
By failing to defend the peace that our grandparents created after World War II.
Yeah.
The world is getting more dangerous. It is going to require more defense investment. But still, I think we're in the same kind of bubble that we had when the internet was, really coming online in the late 90s, the .com bubble, where everybody recognizes this is the next big thing. There's a lot of money to be made here, but you have so many tourists and people who don't really know the space.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. You said drone bubble. Let's start with drones.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about other stuff. We can actually, it's drones, autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
Let's put that all in the same. But like,
for sure.
All right. So in the drone bubble, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing a ton of money because people know that this is going to be the new dominant form of warfare in an increasingly less safe world, that there are many billions of dollars to be made out there.
Yeah, drones, big business.
100%. But just because you're putting money into the .com doesn't mean that you're going to make your money. Differentiating between, pets.com and Amazon in 1998.
Tough time.
Yeah. And that's where...
Amazon tanked in the .com, but then, Lord Bezos came out
exactly
10 years later.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you might see some companies, tank.
100%.
But then
I think there's a lot of companies
if they go long
whose valuations are built on mythology.
Yeah.
And that a lot of people are going to be going to zero, and there's going to be parts and pieces sold off.
Yeah, you got to stay. I've always kept a pretty low valuation. I did that because my last company too.
Yeah.
It actually saved me in my last company.
Really?
Yeah, because that's the reason like DoorDash bought it, because our competitors had fake valuations and they couldn't get the deals done.
That makes sense.
But mine was like way lower.
Yeah.
And we had like the same traction.
Yeah.
And that low valuation saved me.
Having something that's real. And in this space, it's hard because you can't just say, hey, straight multiply the revenue, because revenue is kind of a binary thing. You either have it or you don't. And if you have it, it is huge.
It's true.
And if you don't, then you don't have nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think that the low valuation, and again, like even when I'm doing my Series B right now, I'm not like trying to pump it because it's so hard if you do have that cliff. Like
exactly.
It hangs over you. It's like a fucking noose.
Yep.
And a lot of like the first time founders in this space, I don't know if they realize that yet. Right. They might learn the hard way.
Yep.
I try to tell them, but they don't listen to me. They're worried about their ownership.
Our strategy is like, we're like, hey, the money stuff will kind of work itself out in terms of the valuation. We are focused on building dominant tech that's going to survive all the bubbles and actually winning. Well,
that's the other part people don't realize is that the value, like the ownership percentage you have, it doesn't matter in this space more than any space.
Yeah.
Because these are actually cash flow businesses. Like if your product succeeds, it cash flows like a lot. And so like the actual, like you would never even sell the business anyway. You would just cash flow. Like it's not an asset you would give away.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the actual like percentage ownership you have is totally irrelevant. And I was trying to coach some younger founders on that. Like it doesn't really matter. All that matters is like board control,
Yes.
not ownership.
Exactly.
And so,
yep.
But people are like
creative control is something that like we are kind of hard set on. Yeah,
because you can like when you're
gotta have control of it.
Yeah, because when you're cash flowing like crazy, you can just do stock buybacks.
Right.
Like whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Not worried about that.
It's very binary.
Our focus is on making the stuff that is going to stand the test of time. I think there's a lot of things that the same way that American drones were a byword for overpriced crap in Ukraine, where at the first little bit none of our stuff worked, and I think we're getting right back into that same thing where instead of subjecting our drones to hard rigorous testing, we're letting this bubble drive kind of fake success stories.
I mean, there's a lot of these companies. There's a lot of the FPV drone companies. There's a lot of the old ones too, like Skydio. Like these aren't like bubble companies. They have revenue and they're scaled. And then you have the new drone companies. So it's a pretty crowded like FPV market, I would say.
Very much so.
I would say in the fixed wing, what you're doing is actually there's really no one, honestly.
So the closest thing to what we have is in Ukraine. There's Sky Defenders is making Zigzag, and that has four fixed forward barrels. It's purely FPV. There's no autonomy. There's no onboard detection.
Wait, it's an FPV with gun?
Yes.
Oh, no, I don't like that.
When we say FPV, so it's
propellers though.
No, it's a fixed wing.
Oh, okay. That's better.
But it is FPV'd.
Yeah, that's fine.
And so our like the way that we work is that we don't, based on our my experience with Intel and knowing kind of the way the world works, we don't believe in communications post launch.
Yeah.
I've spent so much of my life breaking down a radio in the dirt with bullets kicking up around me, trying to raise comms as a JTAC, to where like now that I'm on the outside, it's like I'm never again going to stake my livelihood on making a comm shot, because if it happens, you aren't going to know if you're successful until game day.
Yeah, no, honestly,
it's all about autonomy.
I think it's got to be on board. What you're doing is
totally
right. Yeah.
Post-launch autonomy, and we treat any comms.
You could have comms, but you don't rely on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We treat it as an unexpected surprise. Like the adversary in this moment didn't do their job, and we squeaked a packet out and back.
Yeah.
And we do everything we can to raise that comms, so we do have the opportunity to send and receive status packets. But should the comms link be severed, cool. That's what we planned for. This is what we're designed to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, one of the parts of the bubble that's most fascinating to me, and I'm probably going to get a lot of shit from this because I told some Reuters reporter about it, and it's going to definitely be an article about it. But yeah, because I was like shitting all over this phenomenon of like the LP grift, I call it.
Yeah.
So basically, you start a fund, then you raise money from LPs, and then you use the fund and you put yourself as president or CEO of a defense company, and then you take the fund's money and give it to yourself.
Yeah.
And that I feel like is the great trend. I'm not going to call out any of the companies, but they all know.
Right.
People who listen know.
Yeah.
But that's the great trend of defense tech. Yeah. Anyone who's getting huge sums of money, when I say huge, over 100 million plus, that's how they're doing it. They're not raising on like fundamentals.
Right.
And I'm actually just really coming off as jealous right now because I really want that. Like that's what I want.
Yeah. I mean, capitalism is gonna fix that. The invisible hand will smack that down eventually.
Yeah, but a lot of capital will be destroyed.
Yes,
it's not good. It's not really good for our national defense posture.
That's what I'm worried about. As we were talking about earlier, the sense of duty I have to get the data to our various venture capital organizations. Like, hey man, here's the stuff that's real. Here's what's not. And if we're just allocating capital willy nilly, stuff goes to zero. Then the companies that need to be hydrated with funding, either they get priced out, or there's drone fatigue, or there's no powder left in the keg at the smaller VCs that would do the pre-seed and the seed. And if we have these massive, kind of wastes hoovering up all that capital, not good for the nation. Not good for our defense.
No. So that's another problem. There's the saturation. There's a lot of the grifting.
Yeah.
But just to make you feel a little better though, because I was in restaurant tech before. Every space has the grift.
Yeah.
So it's not just defense. It's not limited. This is just the natural order of America, how it works.
That's the way it works.
Like because if there's VC dollars being poured into something,
right,
there's just a handful of companies that are fake and a handful that are going to be real.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, then some that middling that sell, and it's just a whole. Yeah. It's every space, so it's not just defense.
Of course.
And
I love that we've even got meme companies now with girth defense.
Oh, dude, I love that. That's great. Yeah. I mean, if you look at YC, like all these, like the last YC batch had 5 manufacturing primes, and I was like, there's no such thing as a manufacturing prime.
Right.
Like it's a factory. You think Tesla's like, you know what we should do? We should outsource our car making to a manufacturer.
Yeah.
No, they build them.
Right.
Like same with we build our product. That's part of our product. This is how we build it. You can't outsource to some manufacturer.
Yeah, contract manufacturing is hard to do because then you got to get the recipe to them and then outsource everything, the quality control, the build, and retooling lines.
And there really is no like automating of these factories. Like people say, like they're already automated. To be clear, like if you ever walk through a factory, it's pretty automated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then the technicians, there's nobody sitting there hanging doors on a Cadillac like it's 1962 again, right?
One of the arguments people make that tell me I'm wrong though is that like, oh no, Steve, the robot hands have come a long way. And so now we have robot hands doing this.
Yeah, as much as you can, but you still have humans deciding, how the thing works and then repairing it when it breaks down and overseeing it.
Yeah.
And that's the investment is making that whole system, and you can't outsource the thing.
I mean, honestly, we're probably going to have to cut this, but I'm going to say anyway, until the robot hands can and there's no fucking way that they're going to...
Well, I think there's good money in that too, man. Maybe you should pivot.
Yeah, we'll probably keep that in. No one listens this far in. They usually do the first 15 deep cuts. But no, honestly, like I've been watching these. So me and Luke, we're electrical engineers growing up. We've been making robots since we were kids.
Yeah.
We've been following robot hands since we were children.
Mm-hmm.
Like we love the robot arms and the hands. But like the dexterity of the human hand it's
exquisite.
I know,
incredible.
And like you got all these companies
like hire the maker. Right?
All these companies are like raising that now the robot hands are better than the human hand. That's the underlying premise. And I don't know about that yet.
I think in terms of the hand itself, even if it's not better than the human hand, is damn sure cheaper at scale and works longer and harder with less things. So what makes the human special, our hands are awesome, but between our ears is the real special sauce.
Yeah.
You can't outsource that. You can't duplicate that.
Yeah.
And so if we have, factories where we have things that are not unique to the human, dexterity, that's cool. Yeah, we can do that. But it's the freeing up more people to use the brain power that it's all about.
I get a lot of fan mail.
Yeah,
it's getting pretty popular, and people always say they love that it's raw.
Yeah.
So like I got to be a little edgy,
Of course.
It's part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, don't.
What do you think? What's your take on humanoid robots? The utility of that?
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to do a demo with ACS. We're going to put it on the back of a truck, which we already have. I'm going to buy a bunch of Unitree Chinese humanoids.
Yeah.
I'm going to have them run over the hill.
Have you seen like the boxing matches of these things?
Yeah, I'm going to have them run over the hill like they're storming the gates in North, and I'm going to headshot I'm going to mow them all and be like, these are stupid. Because a truck with a gun is way better than a humanoid.
What is driving the attraction to humanoid robots?
Oh, humans like to anthropomorphize things.
That's exactly.
They love it. They're like, oh, it's gonna be so sick.
Yeah,
I love it.
I keep on
like me.
That's it. So I keep on coming back to this quote from Xenophanes, like the ancient Greek philosopher. He's saying that if horses had hands and could draw, they would draw gods that look like horses.
Yeah,
and it's like the residual self-image. And so when we say robot, what we really mean is a human. And so things that elicit that emotional response.
Yeah,
like humanoid robots.
Here's the argument that against us is that people say like, well, that we built the world for humans, so if we can make a humanoid robot that's as good as us, we can put it in our house, it can do our dishes. It's all made for that.
That's a good argument.
It's a fine argument, but the problem is it's the hand motion isn't going to be there, and the whole thing's not going to.
If you want to replace basic daily household tasks, a humanoid robot does that, but
it doesn't quite do it yet.
Not even close.
Have you ever watched the demos of Figure?
Oh yeah.
My favorite is that they'll be like they'll have a demo of Figure robot putting groceries away.
Mm-hmm.
But because it can't actually get into the grocery bag, first they stage the video, but they take all the groceries out of the bag and put them on the counter.
Exactly.
So
you can stage anything and make it look good, and that's part of the reason for the drone bubble, man. Is that if you want to make your stuff look good and you control the test, then anything can be the right answer.
Actually, no, this is actually hilarious. I had an investor come out and they were like, "We're not going to let you fly the drone. We're flying the drone." It was amazing.
I like that. That's kind of the way it should be. So you read about the DIU test out in Alaska a couple weeks ago. No. A bunch of stuff crashed and burned.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I put a thing on LinkedIn about it. Trent from DIU was the guy who's like really insisting that we have electronic warfare and that we have realistic harsh testing conditions. Yeah. And it shows the fragility. The reason why all the American stuff failed in Ukraine is that you've got this almost collusion between program.
We're not doing real tests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What we're doing is demonstrations because we want to make sure everything looks good. Like the row of DVs with like the red carpet and like the wife gets the flowers.
Well, real tests are hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't think we're ready for we're almost ready for a real test. It's been like 2.5 years. Like we're doing demos still.
Yeah.
Like real tests. That's what we're building towards.
And that's
but we don't misrepresent that. We tell them.
Right.
They know.
Yeah.
Like, we're just like, bro,
DoD needs to be the one who's doing this. Like the customer needs to be in the business of creating intel-informed test conditions that see, all right, how does your stuff actually do? Like on one side, I'm not going to say the name of it, there's a specific boat that was beloved by Pack Fleet, and they decided that they wanted to make this thing look good, and they mechanical turked the crap out of this. What they did is this thing had no autonomy. And when I say no autonomy, it like literally didn't have a chip in it to do any kind of autonomy.
Yeah.
So they retrofitted it for remote control, and they had the guy who's remote controlling it like out of view. And this thing didn't have any warheads. So they had a one-off warhead made by Indian Head and put on it. And they put all the DVs in this front row, like Admiral Paparo and everybody looking at it. And they ran.
DV is a distinguished visitor for my mom. Yeah, okay.
And they ran this thing into a target in front of all the DVs and made it blow up. I'm like, oh my God, look, autonomous boat. And all of the actual technologists were like, the fuck? Like, that is not even remotely autonomous. This is completely mechanical turked.
Yeah.
But that resulted in massive, billions of dollars of stuff moving in the department and a lot of wasted effort.
It's kind of like the Scale AI story where like the guy who Facebook bought Scale AI, like half of it, and like they're just like basically a bunch of humans labeling.
Yeah,
that's their
exactly.
AI,
yeah, augmented by
now he's the head of Meta AI though now.
Yeah, and like how Amazon had the stores. Like I went to one in Crystal City where you'd walk in, you walk out with your groceries, and then AI figured out what it was, and it turned out it was just banks of dudes. Like either it's like Malaysia or India or somewhere.
That's move fast and break things, bro.
Oh my God, it's just fake. It's fake. And what our customers need to be doing, our DoD needs to be doing, is to set hard tests where failure is okay and it doesn't kill a company, doesn't kill a program. Where if you're not failing at least part of the time, you're not really testing.
No, let's go back to the testing thing earlier. For you, I feel that I do that. We've been doing that. And they're pretty lenient, like that. To their credit, because they know we'll just come back out next month,
right?
Or they actually like to come to Austin, so like they're happy to come down and get some barbecue and see it again next month. Because I'll be like, if we miss the drones, so I'm optimistic that that's changing. Actually, I'll throw them a bone. So that's why you got to get out there, test early, because they'll know like your problem with your building is very difficult.
Yeah.
Like not in any one part, as you said,
right,
but like the whole system.
Exactly.
So they're fine with that.
And the way that we're doing our tests is that I'm holding us to that standard early, where I'm putting out conditions where it has to actually operate on its own, with iteratively less stuff that is faked and more that is, making it actually operate, such that by the spring, take this thing off a leash, give it a box of the sky to go patrol in, and we'll have a drone there where nobody on the ground knows where that drone is, and we have to actually find it, close with it over a couple kilometers of distance, and shoot it down where there's no fakery and it's all real.
Who are you partnering with for detection that range?
Us.
Oh, you're doing it?
Us.
Radar? Or?
Nope.
Okay, but like, let's say it's like 30 kilometers out.
Yep.
You don't know where it is yet.
Nope.
You're just gonna fly around.
But we do. That's the problem. That's why zigzag and everything else. Like,
but wait, how do you know?
So. I'm going to go with the edge of what I want to say on the podcast.
That's fine. You don't have to.
No, I want. This is important to note, is that if you don't have the ability to detect beyond computer vision range, you're needle in a haystack in it. You're hoping to find in 4-dimensional space, you got 3D plus time, a moving target. And with the resolution on these cheap, cameras, you can only get really 200 meters. So you're flying around, very nearsighted. Our magic sauce is that we have what's called PIDS, the Polyspectral Initial Detection System. And PIDS uses a couple of different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum to pick up drones passively.
Wait, so your system is a detection and kill?
Yes.
Oh, sick. That's even better than what I thought. Okay.
It's a fully integrated kill chain. So the reason why I made the analogy to the F-22 is that that thing isn't just using a pilot with his eyes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There it is,
that's
right?
Badass.
It's not a Sopwith Camel. It has stuff on board, but because we have such severe weight limitations, we don't have a jet. We've got batteries, and so we've invented and we've got all the patents. We've got a great IP mode for this.
Love this.
And it's taking the different parts of the spectra that the spectrum, the individual spectra that the drone is already disturbing or emitting on, and doing air-to-air detection.
Okay, that's dope.
And so at this point, we've got it working in the lab and then in the backyard of the lab. Sorry.
Oh, dude, you had a rough night last night, huh?
I went out. I interviewed a new guy. Actually, we just hired a guy.
Oh, nice.
Taking him from here.
Oh, you're taking him from Austin?
Yeah,
bro. You're messing up my city.
Well, come to Atlanta, man. So Austin was my number 2. It was really close.
Oh my God, you didn't build your company here? That's really fucked up.
So let's get into that in a minute. Let me finish on PIDS. The long range detection, we think we're going to be able to get over 50K detection passively, and then we only take the camera part over in the last 200 meters. So PIDS is what allows us to patrol long ranges, where you say, hey, in this piece of sky from this map sheet to this map sheet, go patrol for an hour. And then anything you see in there, go investigate it, classify it, and then if it's the type of drone that the commander has said, shoot it down, happens automatically.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really sick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm in.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's really
Pretty
cool.
sick.
But you said you picked Atlanta?
Yeah.
ATL.
Man, we could have gone any.
Is that because of the airport?
That's part of it. I mean, you look at all the different things.
Because the airport here sucks.
Yeah, Atlanta Airport kicks ass at me there all the time.
They have a Chili's there.
Yeah.
I only like airports with Chili's. That's my favorite restaurant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I worked at the Chili's when I was growing up.
Chips. I worked at Subway.
Oh, right
Sandwich artist. But Chili's, chips, and salsa.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what else besides the airport? Besides the airport Chili's?
So the reason why Atlanta happened for me is I was already there when I was in uniform. I was visiting the Onderel headquarters to talk about Altius and give them some updates on.
Where's their headquarters? Is that in Rivendell or?
No, it's inside the perimeter.
Oh, okay.
It's in North Atlanta area, and it's the old Area I.
I like to talk about it being not in. I like to talk about it being in Middle Earth.
Well, right?
Yeah, like somewhere in Middle Earth or something like Hobbiton or
we
like
have a couple of our subsystems that do have Middle Earth names as an homage.
I only do the evil ones.
Yeah?
Sauron.
Dude,
yeah.
So that's one of our things. So
see, you guys, we're meant to be together.
Yeah. Our vision system we call Eye of Soren, not Sauron, because our co-founder's kid's name is Soren. So
that's
it's
amazing.
Eye of Soren. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, you got to do the evil ones. It's counter positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We got to have the counter.
The orcs were the good guys anyway. I mean, they should have won that shit. They were just being oppressed. The humans were keeping them in Mordor. They just wanted to be outside of Mordor.
There could be a really good fan fiction written from the perspective, because I mean, everybody's the protagonist of their own story, right?
Yeah.
Nobody is an evil guy if you ask them. And so to rewrite Lord of the Rings from the perspective of the
this is the whole critique of this is the whole George R. R. Martin critique of Lord of the Rings, where Tolkien just wrote a clear black and white, like good and bad. But that's not how the world works.
Right.
Like in Game of Thrones, everyone's like kind of both.
Yes.
And so like
I love the nuance of that.
That's why he wrote that. Like that's why he wrote it like that, because like he thought Lord of the Rings sucked, basically.
I didn't know.
Because it's like, think about it. It's like, oh, clearly like Gandalf is like God,
right?
Or like Jesus.
Yeah.
Comes again. He resurrects.
Yep.
Like it's all just like basically.
Yeah. Narnia 2.0.
It's like biblical.
Yeah.
It's like God stuff.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting into witchcraft. Yeah. I want to be like a Wiccan.
I grew up with a lot of people who were like that.
Really?
So, yeah. Yeah.
We're doing seances later if you want to come back to my place. I just want to be able to text my friends and also
I will observe.
Sup witches. There's actually like a lot of like girls who want to be witches in Austin, I found.
Really?
So I've just been floating this out there.
Yeah.
They're like, people are, it's like witchcraft's coming back, I think, which is like really weird. I mean, we're entering some weird, actually, what does Joe Rogan say? Strange times.
Yeah.
Strange times.
Yeah, we're definitely strange times.
Yeah. The Wiccan mother goddess. That's who I worship. Or like the Hindu god Lord Ganesh.
Yeah.
Tusks. I want to get into like alternative religions,
There's so many to choose from.
When you go to Blue Halo's office, have you been there?
No, I haven't.
Oh, all over the office is plastered like biblical quotes.
Huh.
Everywhere. It's like, I think it helps sell. I don't know. I asked them about this. They were like, yeah, it's like our thing. I think it helps sell.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because a lot of Christianity is still the predominant religion in America.
I think we're at like 60% at this point.
I took a bunch of photos of the Blue Halo office with this so I could, for my scrapbook.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been scrapbooking for like the journey.
No, I have not.
Oh, no.
Dude, I've been so busy. I haven't been, I know that I want to be recording a lot of the stuff that I'm doing.
Well, the issue is like, we have different roles. Like you actually have to run a company.
Yeah.
I just podcast. So like it's just a little different, but and fundraise once in a while.
Everything that we are doing has been a lift from like our core team we were 3 to start, and then we took on Patrick as a co-founder, and between the 4 of us, it's like everything. Like I'm the janitor, I'm the sales.
No, you're like in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this first time founder or second time founder?
Right.
A more high level.
Oh my God, dude.
Level strategy.
If I ever do this again, and I hope that I don't, because
this is probably going to go all the way.
That's what I mean.
This is it.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, I think that the inevitability of air-to-air drone warfare has kind of proven itself out already. And because we are
we need to come on in. We need a picture. Wait, are you in the Chatham House?
I am.
Oh yeah, let's get a pic. I need to pump this to the Chatham House. Yeah, we're looking good. You just talk to me. Yeah. So you're saying air to air. What you're saying? You're gonna be in this forever.
Yeah, dude, totally. So this isn't the end. This isn't a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Air superiority was a dominant force in our country to the point where we had to create a whole ass branch of the military for it.
Yeah.
And we're looking at that exact same thing, just lower, slower, and more autonomous.
Yeah.
And because we're the first and possibly like the last movers on this, because we've really thought about the kill chain and how to build every part of it into this.
Yeah.
This is a long-term play for us.
I know. I think so too.
Yeah.
What do you do? Have you ever heard of the customer? I forget which one was telling me about this. They want your product, but instead of the bullets, they want to attach a microwave to it.
Yes.
Does that crack you up? It cracks me up.
I would encourage them to talk to a high school physics professor about the efficacy of directed energy weapons.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's so look, I think there's a place in the choir for just about everything.
Yeah.
Directed energy weapons, both laser and high power microwave, can work under specific situations.
Yeah.
But man, like the logistical requirements of having all of the electrical generation and the capacitance required to put a ground to air shot over a long range, that is pretty intense.
Yeah.
And it's just like we've learned in the battlefield really forever, but especially in Ukraine recently, anything that is a high value target gets smoked first.
Yeah.
And so,
well, you get why they want this to work, right?
Totally,
because they don't want bullets flying everywhere.
Well,
that's pretty much why.
I've got a solution for that too. Like, it's too early for us to talk about this.
No. I'm saying I think they're wrong though. It's a battlefield. That's where the bullets go.
Yeah, I get it though. So like, as a JTAC, one of the things that I do in final attack headings is I make sure that if bombs go long or short, it's not over friendly positions.
Yeah.
And collateral hazards are real, so we want to mitigate as much as possible.
Of course.
There's only so much you can do. Our bullets, one of the things that is unique to us is that, again, I don't want to get into the proprietary stuff, but we have a way of mitigating that hazard such that if we miss the target, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, no, we have some bullet stuff we're testing as well. And I'm with you.
We should compare notes.
Yeah, we should at some point. Off air, it's our secret sauce.
Exactly.
But no, I agree with you. But but again, like the reason to empathize with the customer.
Yeah.
Like they definitely would prefer less collateral damage.
Totally.
It scares them, which it should. Because you don't want to hit civilians.
If you're radiating a bunch of high power microwave,
well, that's also
like there's collateral damage. And by the way, beyond your target, there's satellites and stuff. And so unless you're clearing space, and those
lasers will go to space.
100%. They'll fry out, a $10 million satellite. Like we can't be just putting laser energy willy nilly into the air.
No.
And HPM is the same thing. And if you're talking about defending in a real world environment, like if you're defending a stadium, are you really going to be EMP, HPMing everybody's cell phones, everybody's data centers? That's not a thing. But because all these tests, again, take place in the western deserts of the United States, where it's Wile E. Coyoteville in the background and nobody cares, it's like, oh, great, the drone swarm dropped out of the sky. Yeah, do that over Dodger Stadium, homie.
I would love for someone to give me the last 50 years of R&D investment into lasers, the amount of money we poured. I would love to. Can we ask ChatGPT? They're still going to get it wrong with this task anyway. I mean, it's been insane.
Yeah.
And there's still never a laser on the battlefield yet. Not one.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have them on demos.
I think the Israelis have something, a laser that is like pinpricking here and there.
I don't know. They're shooting interceptors, Iron Dome, bro. I don't know.
They're doing that primarily. I think they did get a couple of kills with lasers.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's not a dominant force in the battlefield in Ukraine is that the physics just don't work. If you're going to put the laser in the air, now that's a different story.
What do we got? All right, that's pretty good. 1.6.
It's doing a calculation.
That's calculating?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's a chat. Kids call it chat.
A friend of mine wrote a piece on his Substack about...
It's got to be like 20, 30 billion. Oh, here we go. 26 billion. Actually, that's not too bad. Yeah, look, it's 27 billion. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's like 2 years with the Samsung R&D.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Government gets a pass on this.
Yeah. and I get it. Look, it's something we should explore, but the basic physics should also inform us that if you're putting that much energy, that tightly collimated, you're talking about a massive logistical footprint on the ground that, as an artilleryman, I'll tell you, like, you don't want to just have that thing open.
Well, my thing is with Epirus, like, for example, it's just a massive artillery target.
Yeah.
Like, let's say it does work. It probably works. Now, boom, artillery.
What does it work against?
I mean, let's say it works against like some like Mavics.
It'll work against this 100% because there's no shielding on this.
But all I'm saying is it's just like a fat target for a switchblade.
Right. Yeah, for anything. It's high-powered target. And then look, there's places and times where that is useful. And again,
here's a question I have for you because you're actually more operational than I ever was. Do people consider the like how long the weapon will last on the battlefield? Because I feel like they're not, like with something like that, like it's going to get hit.
Depends on who they is.
Like just like war game. I mean, people that are like deciding to procure this.
Dude, so procurement people aren't necessarily have the first bit
They're not doing war game at all.
Yeah. Their job is to spend the government's money and look good for their boss, right?
Yeah, because like you don't really see these things in Ukraine. Like microwaves.
And there's a reason why.
Because they're going to get crushed by Lancets.
Right.
Or something, like whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what I don't get. Like I just don't get it. I'm confused.
It's of all the ways to take out drones, it is one. It is an extremely expensive one to buy the hardware. It's a fragile one tactically.
Yeah.
The range is limited. You have to have line of sight to target, and you have a limited range where it can actually affect it. And against a hardened drone, it's minimally effective.
I'm going to get that Andy, the CEO of I'm getting him on here. he's best friends with my old boss in the Navy. They're college roommates.
Oh, cool.
So I have their connection.
Nice.
He's a nice dude. I need to get him on here to like have him explain, because he claims it's a force field and that they reach the singularity event. And I want to know about this. We need this on the drone ultimatum.
I'd say the same thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's sweet.
But
I want a force field.
Yeah. So the concept I think that most of the viewers should take away is that for every type of intervention, there's a counter, and there's a place for it, and there's limitations.
I mean, look, even Bullfrog could get overwhelmed by 50 drones.
Right.
Like,
and you've got limitations.
I'm not saying our products look panacea.
Yeah,
you know,
nothing is like in ours. If you've got a hell of a windstorm or something, like now we can't put ours in the air at all.
Well, that's what I was talking about today. I posted on LinkedIn because Aurelius, my friends, just raised their laser kids. They raised 10 mil.
Very familiar.
And I love my So I posted like a congratulations on LinkedIn, and I was just saying, like, even though a lot of this stuff doesn't work, and I kind of like make fun of it sometimes, we need like more investment into the counter space, because like the attack is way easier.
Yeah.
And they're advancing so much faster than the counter attacks.
Yeah.
Like I actually don't mind when we like pour money into something that's more like aspirational.
And I think Aurelius is going to make it.
No, I think they are.
Their attitude is not strictly tied to the ground. They're looking at miniaturizing and making everything lighter and lighter.
Yeah,
to where
they're tiny.
In the same way that Bullfrog, you can put it on the back of a pickup truck and move.
There's even more portable. It looks like it's exactly. Like smaller. And I think that they're doing. Well, he's also has a good vision. I saw his like he was telling me about it at Fed Supernova. They've got like ideas to go up to like big lasers for Golden Dome.
I hope he goes the opposite direction. So
I think it goes more portable.
Yes,
more portable.
I've been pushing. So I was kind of involved with their origin story.
Yeah.
At the Defense Tech Hackathon in San Francisco, May 4th and 5th of last year, Mike and his team showed up as hackers before Aurelius was even founded.
Yeah, I like their grit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're grinding.
And I was a problem sponsor for that, and I kind of coached them and talked to them a little bit over that weekend. And I saw them build a thing that was this big and be shooting down drones in the convention hall in a weekend.
Yeah.
And like, dude, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
If you can put that system, get it down to like 3 or less kilos and put it in the air, instead of having this massive problem where you have to make a laser shot that is a mile long, which entails just the physics of it. You have to have a tractor trailer worth of shit to do that. But if you get it small enough,
and get close,
exactly. Now you're making a 10-meter shot.
Although
and you don't
with your product, with the I mean, you could probably be configured to use their product, but with the bullets though, you don't have to stay on very long.
Exactly.
You just want a bullet. You don't have to stay on the target as long.
Our probability of kill is probably going to be north 0.95.
Yeah, if you hit a bullet. I mean, there's not much a drone can do against a couple bullets. Like it's just
there's a yes and a no there.
You can't armor them enough.
So you familiar with Abraham Wald's math work from World War II, like the picture of the bomber with the red dots on it?
Yeah.
So there's some really good data that's come out in the last couple of
for the viewers.
Please, yeah.
Yeah.
So that picture of the bomber with the red dots on it.
Yeah.
The point of it is it shows all the places you can show a bomber and it doesn't die. So when we were starting
World War II.
Yeah, Abraham Wald.
It'll come up.
Yeah.
Image.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So the exact same thing applies for today's drones. So when you're talking about Garans and Shaheeds and Orlans and all the above, there's places where you can put a through and through gunshot wound and it won't do it.
Yeah, of course, because the wings basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we did our lethality analysis to start our company, we're like, all right, so if we want to actually score kinetic kills, where do we have to hit it? And then we realized that, man, if we rely on semantic segmentation with our computer vision and an aiming mechanism that's so precise that we're hitting the ESC or the flight controller.
You're just hit the center line.
Yes. So we realized, no, you can't do that. You have to assume a random distribution of hits across the surface of the drone. And so then we backed that out and said, okay, well, a through and through gunshot wound is not going to do it. Humans mind very much when you put a bullet through them. Aircraft, not so much, unless you hit a specific part of it. So we said, how do you make a bullet that actually takes it out with one shot?
I will say that I think you can get your software good enough that it always just hits mostly the center line.
Oh yeah, and we're going to go for that. We're already working on the semantic segmentation to be able to say, hey, this part of this drone is the target.
Yeah,
but to back off of that, to say, well, what if we miss? To make sure that we have when we hit, that it's almost always a kill. We have a patent pending proprietary bullet. It's an anti-drone bullet, and the
what caliber?
9mm for us.
Oh, I was going to say I wanted to borrow it for my 7.62.
Dude, I will totally sell it to you.
Okay, great.
So like the technology that we're doing is designed for anti-drone. What we've learned the last couple of weeks is that
that's awesome.
Yeah, like at T-Rex they saw this, in Ukraine they've been seeing this. That just because you rip bullets through a drone doesn't mean it falls out of the sky. But our specific bullet transfers all the energy and lights it on fire.
That's amazing.
So
I've been talking to different people, like doing different alloy 7.62 alloys and different bullets, but we don't have anything like that. So we got to talk about that.
We solved the physics of it, and we before we built,
and you did it in a smaller than a 9mm smaller, right?
Yes, and so the 7.62 is easier.
Yeah,
exactly. It's way easier.
Okay, perfect.
The company that I'm working with, they've actually got it down to 223. They've been able to do the same.
Amazing.
Same
See, this is the kind of stuff we need.
Yeah,
that's good innovation.
Yeah, absolutely.
They need some fun. They probably have enough.
And so here's an example of why it's so hard to get defense tech off the ground. So with the conversation we just had about bullets, the Army put out a solicitation for an air-to-air effector, or sorry, for a low-cost effector that's basically a Hydra 70 warhead for APKWS, and they're very clearly asking for that, the 70mm warhead, and for counter drone. So we wrote a SIBR proposal saying, look, like, this is what you're asking for. I get it, but we have a way of doing this with a bullet that's cheaper and faster and better. Yeah, and just
they love the interceptors.
Blank.
Yeah, they love the interceptors. Like whenever we're doing an APKWS integration for Bullfrog, instead of the gun, they want the 4-pack in the middle. So like they just want it on.
Guided by what, homie?
I know.
Guided by what?
But they like the interceptors.
There's a program out there. I don't know the level of releasability, so I'll keep it generic. But there's a program out there that is talking about Hydra 70s or APKWS for anti-drone work, building on the Vampire system.
Yep, Vampire L3.
Yeah, and there's another one out there, and this thing went through so many layers of approvals by people who had no technological idea of where it was at. And I'm on the background on the phone with the program manager, like, hey, have you figured out what type of energy you're designating the target with yet? Well, like, nope, still whiteboard on that. And this thing got funded and it got picked up. And it was like being briefed to 4 stars as the solution for counter drone. I'm like, this literally doesn't exist.
No, I know. It does. Yeah.
So frustrating.
That's the kind of stuff. I know it's hard. Well, that's why, we have to keep doing what we're doing, keep grinding it out and try to do it. But like, they do, like, APKWS is a popular product, BAE. There's a lot of money behind it, a lot of lobbying behind it.
And they've got a lot of things that can already launch it. It's known. It's a great system.
Yep.
I've shot a lot of APKWS in combat.
Yeah.
But it was air to ground.
Exactly.
Ground to air.
They're trying to adapt it.
Right.
And
it can be done if you chose the right spectrum to designate with and existing sensors and designation equipment. But there's a lot of reinventing the wheel that's going on right now.
For sure. For sure. So what's next for the company then?
We are just, because we've raised our pre-seed round, we're just about closed. Like, I'm already above the target that I wanted, and I'm
now your head's down for the
exactly. We're engineering, and we are just knocking down
heads down building.
Yes,
that's what you have to say. When people reject me for coming on, they're like, I'm busy heads down building, Steve, and I love that.
Yeah, that's it. We are heads down building, man. We are making rapid progress. We're a couple months ahead of where we thought we would be at this point. The engineering challenges that we feared turned out to drop pretty easily.
Yeah, team's fired up.
Yeah, man, we're excited.
Who's the CTO? Who's your?
So Heather is a good friend of mine, long-term friend, and all of us have kids, and so our battle rhythm is that after we all put the kids to bed, we get back on our calls at 2000, and then we work till midnight just about every day.
That's your battle rhythm. Yeah. You need a good battle rhythm. My sister's a commander in the Navy. She always talks about battle rhythm.
Yeah, that's it. We work during the day, and then we knock off about 4 in the afternoon. Be good moms and dads. I coach my kids' cross country team, that kind of thing. And then after we put the kids to bed, we get back online. And
how old's your kid?
I've got 3 of them.
And how old are they?
15-year-old, who, by the way, was just hired to do data labeling for John Doolin and his company.
Oh, nice. I had him on the pod.
Yeah, love him.
Yeah, I love John.
Dave and the whole team there.
Yeah.
So I'm a 15-year-old Drake. I've got a 7-year-old Everett and 6-year-old Freya.
Amazing. I have just 1 3-year-old. 3.5.
Welcome to the show.
It was our first day of preschool 2 days ago.
It's about to get a lot easier for you, man.
I hope so.
I don't know how anybody survives the 1 to 3 stage, and then about 4 they become almost human, and by the time they're 6, it's like, oh, it's just a person I hang out with and cook breakfast for in the morning.
Speaking of John, are you using any of the automated target recognition stuff?
We've started working on that, because the thing that really makes our targeting tick is that we did it all in house for the first version, but as we expand the library of what we can take on, and again the details,
you don't want to build everything,
right? We definitely want to partner with him. He's the one who convinced me to run this company, by the way.
He did?
Yeah. So when the origin story of this, I was trying at the start to stay in uniform and make this counter drone thing happen. And enough people kind of pulled me to the side and said, look, man, you're never going to get this done in uniform. Get out and start this company. John was at my house in Hawaii, and midnight, he smoking a cigarette in the way he does.
Oh yeah, of course. I go out with John. You should come out with me and John.
Oh, I would love to, dude. We love hanging out.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, of all the things you could do, you could stay in and try to make this happen in uniform, or you could do this and this. And if you want to be successful at any of it, you have to take all the future yous that represent your dreams and imagine that they're physical people. And
this sounds just like him.
Yeah, exactly. Right. With his baritone.
Yeah, his baritone voice.
And you got to take all these future yous that represent your dreams. That you'd be happy with any one of these, and you got to take every one of them to the backyard and line them up against the wall and put a bullet in every one of their skulls except for one.
That's such a Silicon Valley thing to say. He's such a
and then that one represents your dreams, and you make that one live, and all the other dreams have to die so you can pursue that one.
This is the origin,
and that was my kind of moment. Like, I could do this, and this, but the place where I can have the most impact for the nation, where I can have the freedom to build like I want, totally is to run my own company. So
amazing.
That was the moment where I decided to get out of uniform, create SplashOne, and do this.
Have you been following the Vector lawsuit?
I have.
That's okay. I don't know if you saw my podcast on it.
I haven't.
Okay, we talked about it a little on a couple episodes ago, but I netted out that I think I side with Vector on this.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why they're suing them, I think, because it's actually, here's my new theory. I have an update for the listeners who've been following this story. And tell me if this is right or not, because I'm making it up. But I suspect that they've been winning contracts. Like they found the Andy guy has found a way to win training contracts.
Yeah, he's got all the connections.
And he's making a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And it's actually not they're suing him for some IP theft. But I actually think I don't think they actually care about that. I think they're mad that they're winning a bunch of old Red Cat and teal contracts. I think it's money.
Just trying to hip check them out of the.
Yeah, just like they had to come up with some lawsuit.
Yeah,
to slow him down a bit.
Right.
Because they're like he's found some way to win a bunch of deals.
Yeah.
And it's making the other company mad. That's my
It's a good theory.
That's my back level theory. But as the Drone Ultimatum podcast host, we like to follow up. We don't break news. We just comment on the news.
Right. That's the easier way to do it.
We comment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the fun ones to follow. We talked about doing a live from the courthouse if they go to court, but I don't think it'll go to court. Likely, none of this shit ever goes to court.
It doesn't have to be something that shuts down a small, like any kind of lawsuit, meritorious or not. If you've got the legal firepower, and you just file something that dilutes their time, their capital,
exactly. They're just trying to slow them down a bit.
You can win without having a legit case.
Well, people say there's one of the things in the filing. I read the whole filing. One of them was they violated the non-compete. I don't think that's going to hold up. No one cares about non-competes. But
I have no idea, man.
But the IP, well, we got to commentate anyway. That's a part of it. You got to have no idea, but just do it. But the what's the other part? So the IP theft is maybe a little bit harder to come across. Maybe if he proved, it's all come out in discovery,
right?
But if they prove he took some drone stuff. But the other thing is, I was thinking, and I don't know if he's talked to you guys yet because you're still in prototype, but he was originally, when I first taught him, positioning it as he's an integrator. He brings drones and trains people on drones from industry,
AMC,
and now then they have a drone from Teal,
right?
So they're like, some of the partners are like, whoa, bro, what about our drone?
Yeah.
But I think it makes, honestly, what he's doing is clearly doing disruption. He's actually there's a reason he's getting sued, because they're disrupting someone, and they're like, fuck this. And so
and he's got money,
and I'm interested to see where it heads. I think that's one of our good dramas of our industry. We need more excitement, a little more.
Man, I hope the excitement's good. I just hope that we win, man. The clock is ticking for us to solve these things.
Well, no, I mean that's what I'm saying. This is so somber and scary.
Yeah.
And I need something to
look spicy.
Yeah, because I don't know how you feel, but it's just terrifying.
Yeah.
China, they were what was it with? It was with Modi and Putin. India, right? They're all hanging out together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
No, let's not push our adversaries together. The whole point is to disrupt them. And
I don't think we're going to do well against Russia, India, China. That wouldn't be very good.
Man, so what I'm not worried about is the Russian military. They're fixed and beclowned in Ukraine. Fantastic. Keep leading them, and that's great. The Chinese military is designed to do one thing, and that's to blunt our attack across the Western Pacific.
Yeah.
They're really good at that, and that alone. Not worried about them doing anything else. What I'm worried about is lawfare. I'm worried about hybrid warfare. I'm worried about a type of war that they recognize as war and we don't.
Yeah.
I was the deputy commander.
Sun Tzu shit, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's art of war shit.
Winning without fighting.
Yeah. They don't actually want to fight, probably.
No, well, so
they just want to win.
When you say fight,
as
Americans, that means one thing to us, and it means something completely different for the rest of the world. So again, I was at INDOPACOM at SOCPAC for 5 years, and when you guys would check in, I would basically make them read the Unrestricted Warfare, the book that a bunch of Chinese colonels wrote in response to seeing the dominance of American warfare in the 90s. And then when I was the deputy commander out at a task force, and new guys would rotate in every week or two, I'd sit them down and ask, hey, who here thinks that we are at war with China? And almost no one would ever raise their hands. And then I'd flip the question and say, who thinks China thinks they're at war with us? Everybody's hands would go up. Well, what's the difference? Like, so we know our concept of war and their concept of war is different, and we just haven't pivoted to recognize that they're already in phase 3 of an irregular war combat or a regular war construct. And we think we're in phase 0 of a hot war. They think they're in phase 3 of an irregular war. And we just need to be able to pivot our expectations and match what they're actually doing instead of what we imagine they might one day do that matches our concept of war.
Yeah, you didn't make me feel any better.
That's what keeps me up at night, man, is that I'm not worried about, war breaking out. Like, dude, we're at war. We have been at war. There's an existential zero-sum game between their viewpoint of how the world should be, where the strong take from those who can't defend themselves, and our view of the world, where it's where it's a rules-based law and trade-based.
There's decorum to all of this, in our view.
Yeah, and the thing that has made us all wealthy and to escape, the Hobbesian conditions of our ancestors, like after World War II, that the world took off. We got to protect that, and it's at risk of this new type of war.
I mean, you see France. I mean, France is even like, I don't know, yesterday or 2 days ago, they actually tried to make their hospitals get ready.
I did see that.
That's crazy.
Fantastic. Good.
It's good, but it's like, wow.
NATO needs to 100% recognize that there is no big American guerrilla coming in to defend them. Like, we paid their defense bill for a couple of decades after the end of the Second War, and we should have. But they really need to be able to defend themselves.
I mean, we'll defend them probably.
If
they keep going east or west, I mean,
the message that we should send, I think that we are sending, is that, man, this is your responsibility. We are not going to pay your defense bill anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with the administration's message.
100%. That we are going to help, and we have a treaty alliance, and we will be there for you. But we are not a substitute for having your own forces and handling stuff in your backyard, which we were for many decades. But that's
if Russia attacks a NATO country, I mean, we're coming in.
You think?
I mean, actually, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I'm not the commander-in-chief. I'm the drone ultimatum host.
Three years ago, the answer would have been, well, of course. And then a liberal free world democracy was invaded at the point of a bayonet. And what did we do?
Yeah.
We pulled our guys out.
Yeah.
And we let it happen. And so that the assumption that America will intervene, the world watched very carefully what we did and did not do in Ukraine.
So now they know.
That's it, man. I think that the question of will America get involved is a D20 roll. It's like, are we actually going to? Nobody knows. And so that's part of the things I was doing in the Pacific was disrupting our assumptions about, okay, let's say that invasion X happens, military operation Y that the adversary does.
Damn.
Everybody assumes that the U.S. is going to be involved. That's a bad assumption.
Yeah.
What are we doing to make it so our allies and partners can stand on our own? And as it turns out, Kyiv didn't fall in 3. Kyiv didn't fall in 3 years.
Yeah.
When people are at the point of a bayonet to be enslaved, they'll fight like crazy compared with an army that has no real purpose.
Yeah.
And so if we just be that arsenal democracy, we give our allies and partners the ability to defend themselves, that's our front line. It's not an American with a...
But do you think we hamstring him? Because I think, didn't Trump just send some more, I forget what he sent, some missiles or something? What did he send?
Yeah.
But like he said, you can't use them to send them into Russia.
Yes.
So he kind of hamstring.
Exactly. I think that's a strategic mistake, man.
Or is that just like they say that in the news, but they can actually use them for whatever?
I mean...
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm no longer read into all that, so I'm
not read in.
An opinion.
I'm hopeful that that's what it is, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm not read in.
Yeah. Look, that war needs to end. It is a horrible, gross, disgusting thing, and the way that you end wars is that you fucking win.
Yeah.
You can't push your way out of warfare.
It's a perpetual war right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't be so weak that the enemy stops fighting. What you do is you win. The language that Russians speak is blood and steel.
Yeah.
And if you want to end that war, that's it. You speak that language back to them stronger than they do, and that's what they'll respect. And as peace-loving Americans, free world people, we kind of take the opposite approach to it. We got to pivot, man.
Yeah.
We got to win.
I mean, that's the thing with Ukraine. Like, I thought the Ukrainians built a new long-range cruise missile to hit them in.
Yeah.
Because they know they have to hit Russia.
What was it called, like the Flamingo?
Yeah, but they know they have to like hit the territory.
100%. Yeah.
And it will never end.
The long-range one-way attack game that they're playing right now to take out the petroleum refining capability is brilliant. I mean, it is going to choke off the economy. It's choking off local supplies. There's the difference between gas and diesel for the Russian military, and the diesel's way harder to stop. But by stopping the MOGAS, the economic engine inside Russia is bad.
I had some Russia experts on the podcast, and they were saying, like, Russia's economy is all built around this now.
Right.
But they don't really want it to end necessarily, because this is like their economy is kind of shitty.
Exactly.
So now they have this like thing to do. Like they need it.
Exactly.
So like it's interesting. They don't like that's why it's perpetual.
Yeah. There's no interest in peace from Russia.
No.
The only way to end the war is to actually win and to make them stop. And so I get the idea of, not pissing them off, but that's not how you make peace with autocrats.
Yeah.
The way you make peace with autocrats is by being strong.
Yeah. What if like not to like get too dark or because I don't, but like why don't they just hit those instead of the refineries, just hit like the suburbs? Like just start hitting Russians.
Yeah, so that gets a moral question of us and them, and I think like capital U.
No, I'm saying Ukrainians do that. I'm saying what, not us.
So the capital U us, like free worlders.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
Yeah,
we don't firebomb Dresden anymore. Like that's not a thing. Like we don't do psychological warfare. I posted something on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago where you could see the FPV operator from the Russian drone deciding what to hit, a legit military target or an ambulance, very clearly marked as such.
Yeah.
And he looks and he hits the ambulance.
Yeah.
Capital T them, that's how they think.
They fight.
And that's not what we do.
Yeah.
And I think if we get into the point where we're trying to raise the terror factor for civilians,
that's a really bad situation.
And that's eroding the wall between us and them.
Yeah. So basically, what we got to just hit them in their resources.
Yeah, and that's what the Ukraine's doing right now, just smoking their refining capabilities, and that's great. We need to do more of it and enable them to do more of that. Definitely do bring the war home for the ordinary Russians, but you can't do that the way that they would, targeting hospitals and schools and shit. Like we don't do that.
Honor, courage, and commitment. Navy midshipman core values, bro. I was a Navy midshipman, right?
Yeah, man.
Honor.
Look, we say these words, and we need to double down on it because it's right.
I remember my general guard orders.
Different.
I remember my general guard orders, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's serious though. Like we don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, anyways, wait, okay, Lad, before we head out, any announcement? You're hiring? What do we got? Announcements for the company. Pop it off.
So we're now closed for hiring Aeromex. We've got a couple of super talented people that we've picked up. We are looking for an EE computer engineer, a couple of them, especially people who have computer vision background. We're good enough to make us their first year, but we know that this is going to be something that we need to build a pipeline for, get even better. So we want to have people who are in-house doing that integration for that. We got great partners as well, but we want to be growing in that direction.
All right, dude, let's fucking hit it.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.